if you are out there, this is a special edition of Live with the K-hive. We have lots and lots and lots and lots of K-hive out here tonight. The special, we love Kamala. We want Kamala specifically to be the VP. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to hear from each of these folks, 1 minute, just a quick blurb on why Vice President Joe Biden should pick Kamala Harris to be his VP. And we're going to start off with none other than not Captain America, Chris Evans.
Hey y'all, it's Chris Evans here. It's been quite a journey with everyone through this whole primary.
Chris, you went mute all of a sudden. Can you unmute your microphone?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's been quite a primary journey with everyone. And, you know, Kamala, I think, is a really special politician. She's a really special woman. And there's been a lot of talk about representation in this primary, in this whole process. There's been a lot of talk about representation on this ticket. Obviously, we all know this is a historic moment as far as the person that we have in the White House and the stakes of this election. And obviously, we have someone on the ticket who has been in the White House for 2 terms and is, needs somebody on his ticket who is going to be able to excite the base of the party. And we know that that is Black women. Kamala has shown that she's got not just rhetoric, but receipts. We've seen all of the work that she's done, not just while she was running for president, but in the decade plus that she's been in public life. And talk to anybody who has ever worked with her or known her. You will not find a single person who has a negative thing to say about her. She backs up everything she says with her actions, and she is a delight of a person for people to be around. And so I think when you look at the record of the folks that are being considered, when you look at the criteria, when you look at the polls, all of the polls that have been done from the past month or two have shown her approval skyrocketing. And every group, every demographic that's important to win this election, Black people, Hispanics, young people, she is leading. People want Kamala Harris on the ticket. And so that is what we need Joe Biden to do, and help her lead this party into the next generation.
Thank you so much, Chris. We all obviously completely agree with you, and thank you for all the great work that you've done for the K-hive and for Kamala. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, up next, we're gonna have Mitali. Are you ready to speak?
Got it.
All right, let's go.
Hey guys, it's Mitali. So first and foremost, I want to win this election. There's no scope for having Trump come back. That's it. And I want the person that's going to give us the best chance to win this election. And that person is Kamala Harris. We're 102 days out. We don't have time for a get to know you with a candidate that's not already nationally vetted. You know, she has that. And a couple of weeks ago, I actually was putting together a list of all of the issues that she has worked on since suspending her campaign. And one of the things that really stood out to me on that was the diversity of the issues that she's worked on. You know, she's not just focused on one thing here, one thing there. She has a diverse portfolio, you know, whether it's criminal justice to wanting internet for rural communities in America to water justice. I mean, she can just do it all. And on top of that, she is an amazing person. She has the persona that we need to excite people, to get people out to vote. We're going to be, for all intents and purposes, still in the midst of a pandemic. When election day rolls around, you need people to have someone that is worth getting them out of the house, possibly standing in line for hours. You know, we need Kamala, that's it. And she's a perfect representation of the Black community, of the AAPI community, and those are such key voting blocks at this point in the election. And that's who we need.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Joseph, you're up next. Hope you're ready.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to say this really quick. I'm going to get in trouble. I have to go back to work. But I think Kamala is the #1 candidate to be vice president because we have to think strategically. The vice president is going to run for president next, okay? So unless you want Tucker Carlson or one of those Republican Fox people becoming president, Kamala has to win vice presidency and become president because we need excitement on the ticket, okay? Joe Biden, we love him, but does he get everybody excited? Not the people I'm talking to. So we need excitement. We need to be able to get people to vote for him, but not only vote, make sure the car's gassed up, make sure the bus is ready to go, make sure everybody's registered to vote, you know? Kamala's the person. She changed my life. She's going to change the fucking world. I love her. And yeah, I'm out. Love y'all. Bye.
Thank you.
So, Reecy, you was on mute. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hi.
Debbie's up next. All right, got it.
Thank you so much for letting me go next, Reecy. This is so amazing. Thank you. Kamala has got to be the one. She is the complete package. Not only is she a brilliant prosecutor with a heart who always centers marginalized communities and keeps them in everybody's sights, but she has executive experience at a large state level. And she's a brilliant prosecutor. She makes people like Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr squirm. And she is the perfect person to be vice president. That is all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. This is great.
So I'm going to, instead of announcing the next person, I'm just going to spotlight your video and then you're up.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's Tiff. Just want to say that Kamala, you know, I know that I love me some Kamala. And for VP, I just feel like she is the person that can represent my daughter, my nieces, my cousins, everyone in my family thinks that she is amazing. My uncle calls her Queen Kamala. And, you know, what I love about Kamala is that she is fearless. And when I think of myself, I think of, you know, I always try to keep things positive, try to be, you know, that person that tries to keep everyone together. And that's what Kamala does for me. She is the person that is the most positive person I have ever seen. No matter what's happening around her, what's happening in the country, what's happening anywhere, she is just always in a positive mood, but don't get her wrong, because she will tell you off. And she, like she did to John Cornyn on that floor. So if she's just the epitome of what I see as a perfect person. She's a perfect woman. She, you know, obviously she has her flaws, we all do, but she is everything that I strive to be as a person. And I think she will be an amazing. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I'm a little slow. Hold on. Help me out. Hold on, bear with me now. It's a lot of people up in here. Y'all look at all these people. Just let me just take a second to say, look at all of these amazing people. Some have already dropped off. We have 45 people on here, not including people who've already dropped off, to make the case for Kamala Harris, Senator Kamala Harris, to be VP. Just go ahead, look at all these beautiful faces, diverse faces, enthusiastic faces. We pulled this together literally in a matter of hours, okay? That's how serious we are about sending the message to the Biden campaign that we want Kamala on that ticket. So there we go, next person.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. So I just first want to say that it's not often said that both being a woman and being a Black woman are actually qualifications for being a VP. So that feels important to say. But the thing that I want to highlight is that Senator Harris has always been consistent in her values even when it's not politically expedient. So I think about early in her career when she was first DA, and there was that case with the death penalty, and she even got a lot of heat from Senator Feinstein. And regardless, she had run on a platform of being against the death penalty and didn't change just because she was under pressure from so many different angles. And especially in an administration right now that has zero values other than white supremacy and capitalism, et cetera, xenophobia, you name it. We need somebody who is going to be consistent in their values and also has been a lifelong Dem. Sorry, my timer was going off. I'm finished.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, E. We appreciate that. All right, who's on? Who do we have up here next? Lisa.
Hey, y'all. I'm here in Orange County, California, not Florida, although we're Florida, California. And we know Kamala Harris and we love her. She has done so much for all of us. She is history walking. She is the first San Francisco DA, the first California AG, the first California Black woman senator. And I have supported her since the early 2000s when I was doing activism with women survivors of trafficking. And she was the first that really cared to listen and helped open safe houses, she did a task force. She did so much. And we know it here because we've seen it in this state. And I'm in Orange County. We have a group of, volunteers that are so excited. We've had like 50 new members join just in the last couple weeks because the enthusiasm for her is so palpable. And she's just, she is history walking. She is history walking, and that can't be said enough. So she's the one, and I'm so glad to be here with y'all.
Thank you, Lisa.
Hi, everybody. It's Tiffany. So I agree with what everybody is saying, of course, that's why I'm here. But my reason is a little bit more practical, day-to-day meat and potatoes thing. I'm a government employee and a local government employee, and knowing the inner workings of government, Kamala has the experience at the local level as a frontline deputy district attorney, and then at the managerial government level, local, then at the statewide level, and at the federal level. And most people don't understand how government actually works. Local government is dependent on state and federal government for everything. So yeah, you might pay your property taxes, but if you're in a social services department like me, if you want money to give to people, you got to get it from the federal government. You got to advocate to your senator, and she understands that. She has that knowledge of how they interact and how to get things done already, how to go to the federal government. So now she's in a position where she can make sure, because of the situation we're in right now, there are going to be so many shortfalls in social services to people on a regular basis. She understands that, and she, as VP, that would be a great role for her, one of many, to make sure that people on the streets, in school, everywhere, get what they need from day to day, and those institutions get the benefits that they need to operate. And I thought that way before VP. I thought that's one of the main reasons I thought she should be president. So that's one of the reasons I support her.
Thank you, Tiffany. And Brad, you're up.
Thank you, k-hive, and for putting this together in such short notice. I am a Salt Lake City boy, actually by accident, and born and bred in Boston. And as the presumptive 2020 Democratic nominee, Joe Biden's first test will be whom he selects for his vice president. And that will define so much of what we can expect from him as a president. And it does not denigrate any of the wonderful candidates that he has selected on his panel to vet and consider, to say that one of them truly rises above the rest, and that is Senator Kamala Harris. Hands down, it is not only reflective of the realities and the dynamics of who America really is, and not the current presumptions of nonsense that we have in the office now, but really and truly, she reflects the skill, the power, the grace, and the intelligence that is so sorely needed. Thank you so much for this platform.
Thank you. Akeem, you're up next.
Hello, everybody. The reason I think Senator Kamala Harris is the most qualified person to be VP is because she has local and state and federal positions she has held, and she's the only person vetted that has done those things. And one of the other things that I feel like she represents multiple communities of immigrant community, being from an immigrant mother and father, and the African American community and the Asian American community. That is a good representation to give to the country, saying that I want to pick someone who represents the diversity of the country. That's it. Hey, everybody.
Carmen, you're muted.
Okay. So, hey everyone, thanks for having me. I'm Carmen, coming at you from outside of DC. I won't get too emotional and talk about what she means to me, so I will go very clinical and technical if you all don't mind. Number one, I think she'd be an excellent person to handle the COVID-19 response, especially after the mess that has been made of it. And whatever role Biden would have her in, I think she'd be a VP that would be most effective in handling literally anything he puts on her desk. She's been so powerful and outspoken so far as a senator, so we can only imagine her effectiveness as a VP in response to COVID-19. Number two, the criminal justice aspect is a no-brainer. We really need someone with intimate knowledge of the criminal justice system and policing. We're obviously not going to solve the problem of racial bias or cash bail or private prisons overnight, but this is one of the issues that is firmly in her wheelhouse. Having the ear of the president of the United States means she can affect more positive change in the system as a whole. And the last one, I think she's more keenly aware of the law than anyone else that's being considered right now. This makes her an asset to both Biden and whoever he chooses to be Attorney General. As an offshoot of that, as a country this last 4 years, we've shown that when there is a constitutional crisis, we are 100% dependent on the party in charge to do the right thing. In the case of the Republicans, they obviously do not do the right thing. So I think to think about how, who I want by Biden's side as we revisit these issues of what's constitutional and what's not, I think she's the best to sort of lead that charge and be by his side as we sort of come to terms with the mess that other people have made, because she is so keenly aware of the law. So thank you all so much, and I really appreciate you having me.
My name is Zach Carson, and I'm a constituent of Kamala Harris. I've been since 2010 when I was at UNLV, and I actually went to California to get an ID so I can vote for Kamala Harris. The reason why I want Kamala Harris to win is because, one word, diversity, and I mean holistically. I mean, from being, everyone already said it, local level government, state level, federal. But I think what people also have to realize is then when you get behind closed doors, like not a lot of people don't sit at this table. Like Kamala is in the financial committee. She is in the Homeland Security committee. She's in the intelligence committee, you guys. Name some Black people who's been in the intelligence committee. That's pretty dope. That's it's different. She's diverse, as I was saying. She's married to a Jew. She's raising kids that's not hers. So just the morals, the values that she possesses. You know, and one thing that I do like, especially when it comes to education, you know, she went to a HBCU. She went to one of the best public universities in the world, possibly, you know, Cal Berkeley Law. And with all that being said, like, we need someone who just understands that America is a melting pot. We're going to always be a melting pot. And Kamala is a melting pot herself. She's the one who's stirring the melting pot. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be nice to finally have someone, you know, as president, you know, to reflect those true American values that we all, you know, want to finally see us, you know, live upon. And yeah, go Kamala.
Thank you, Zach. I just want to just take another quick gallery view. Look at all these wonderful Kamala Harris supporters. Just for the record, Vice President Joe Biden and the Biden campaign, I know y'all watching. I know y'all listening. And if you're not, then there's something wrong with how you are glossing over all of these wonderful people saying that they are enthusiastic about Senator Kamala Harris being your next VP. This is better than a focus group. This is better than conveying surveys. This is better than a letter to a newspaper. These are real people from across the country who are saying that they support Senator Kamala Harris and they want her on the ticket. So please, you know, just keep that in mind as you go into this final stretch of vetting. Who's going to bring you the enthusiasm? Who's going to bring you the grassroots support? Who's going to knock on these doors and really go to bat for you? Up next, we have Clara.
Hello, everybody. I'm Clara, and I'm from Michigan. And the reason why I am in support of Kamala for VP is 3 reasons. 1, she is the most qualified. She also meets the moment. And she is somebody that I'm the most enthusiastic about, as well as somebody that all of my friends are the most enthusiastic about. She's somebody that has legislative experience. She has experience working in criminal justice. She has executive experience, and also she's a Black woman, and that matters. You know, something that not a lot of people talk about is the fact that when she was running for district attorney of San Francisco, she ran against somebody that ran on a law and order platform, a racist law and order platform, which is exactly what Donald Trump is doing right now. So she is best equipped to fight that rhetoric. And on top of that, she has been attacked more than any other person that was in the primary, and she rose above that. And she continues to be able to multitask by rolling out bills constantly, as well as doing campaign events. And I just think that she is the best position to be VP, and I'm very excited to have her as VP, hopefully, and I hope that that is the choice because she's the best one.
I just got to say real quick, I'm just going to hop in. Claire, I'm so happy that you're here because the Midwest is representing, you know, they claim, you know, they act like we don't have any Black people in the Midwest. But my sister, my fellow sister from the Midwest, welcome. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you. Okay, am I unmuted? Okay, cool. I had somebody in mind next, but I'm gonna go on ahead. I hope you're ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So I'm about to go on ahead and click on somebody, and you are up now.
All right, hi. So my name is Hubert, and I am in the great state of Arizona. That's a very battleground state, and I just want to talk about how she would be good here. We actually have a surprisingly huge number of AAPIs here. So there's lots of Indian Americans in the district I live in. So having her on the ticket is already a plus. And for me, as a person who is an immigrant, she represents what the glory of America is, which is that anybody can come here and be able to become a fully meshed part of American society. And Kamala Harris is that embodiment. And second, I always worry about how big companies and big banks are actually coming after us. And for her, I trust her 100% because of the $20 billion that she got for the homeowners in California. Arizona had a huge housing crisis when streets were empty, and a person who got money for housing is gonna be a voice that's gonna be heard here in our state because of the housing crisis that we have, because people will know that this is a person who can go fight for them and bring them like, what they deserve. And as I just mentioned, as an immigrant, Arizona has a huge Latino population. Kamala Harris is the most endorsed in the Latino community. We talk about how the biggest newspaper, just Spanish-speaking newspaper, endorsed her. So she will have the roots to come here and speak to people a language of immigration that she understands, that they understand, because her parents were immigrants. They had to go through that crazy situation to get things here. She can speak that language, and you're able to get this very important state. And third, as a Black person, as a young person, you only get few politicians in a generation that inspire you. And Kamala Harris has managed, and I say this seriously, to go over Barack Obama in terms of how inspiring she is and how ready I am to work. And I'm gonna drive, I'm gonna knock on doors, everything I need to do to get her as VP. So that's the type of passion that she inspires. In this state, we need a person like that, not a person that people don't know yet. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, I have, let me see, I wanted to put Avis up, Dr. Avis, but she doesn't have her video up. So I'm gonna put up Pam, you're next, and then after that, we'll go to Dr. Avis.
Okay, thank you, Reecy. Am I unmuted? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely reading mine, otherwise I will for sure cry. Thank you for doing this. I am here in Berkeley, California, Kamala's original hometown, and I grew up here, same generation as Kamala. I was a volunteer office manager in her Oakland presidential campaign headquarters. And what I always think when I think about her or I talk about her to anybody is that she always and always has been ahead of the game. She's always already done things that other people are doing now. And there's measurably no better VP pick on any parameter. She has so many accomplishments in criminal justice, environmental justice, LGBTQ rights. She, as somebody said earlier, won $25 billion instead of $2 billion from the banks for California homeowners, just to name a few. And too many of these things that she's done are unknown and or underappreciated. All of them are for the people. So I don't know, Kamala is sharp, she's strong, she's brave, she is a woman of action. She's also sparkly and warm and funny and relatable. And Joe needs all of those traits in a running mate and in governing. She's the one. She is ready on day one. And I don't know, it's so damn obvious. So that's it.
Thank you, that was wonderful. All right, you're up next.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, hi, my name's Jenny. I live in a suburb in Minnesota. Thank you so much for letting me get a chance to speak about Kamala Harris and why I supported her from the very beginning. I have it's one of her stickers from before she ran. It was called Courage, Not Courtesy. She sent them out to people who were supporting her. And that's why I really think she would be the best candidate. I think Emily mentioned earlier about the death penalty and how she held to her convictions, even in the face of people from her own party speaking up against her. Also, I think in her biography, The Truths We Hold, she mentioned when she was trying to get from the housing crisis, like she was willing to fight harder for California rather than accepting what everybody else. I think the other attorney generals were planning on accepting a much lower number, and she was willing to fight back and push back against that. And so I think we need somebody like that within the White House, and having the capability and the willingness to fight for the issues that are really important and not let them get sidetracked and say, well, this isn't as important. I know she's going to fight for the issues that all of us want to see happen in the next administration. So thank you for your time. And I also just want to shout out the k-hive. You guys are amazing. I'm so much of a fangirl. I love your shows. I love your videos. And I think you guys are doing an amazing job. So thank you for your energy and your time and your talent that you're putting forth to help us get Kamala the seat at that table. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. Dr. Davis.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Hey.
Hey. It's so good to see you all. And I want to echo that last sentiment. You guys are the bomb.com. So it's my pleasure to be here. And thanks for having the brilliant idea of doing this. I think it's important that the Biden campaign hears from real people and not from a very small select few who have deemed themselves the arbiter of Blackness, apparently. And so it's very important that we inject some realness, inject some facts, inject some absolute grassroots perspectives into this conversation. And I think that's been missing. And so, the reason why I think that Kamala Harris is the best person for this job is because she's the best person for this job, period. I mean, if you look at her background, if you look at her her experiences, if you look at what she's doing at this very moment, there is no one in Congress right now who is more active than Senator Harris in pushing forward and fighting for legislation that is specifically meant to address the critical issues that this nation is facing right now. There is no one in Congress right now who this administration, let's just be very clear, is more afraid of than Kamala Harris. When you look at how she's, turned people into dust when they attempt to testify in front of her, it's just been very impressive to see how she outwits them every time. And it's also been very impressive to me to see, really, to tell you the truth, the pushback that she's gotten, because that tells you something. That tells you that she is seen as a threat, and rightfully so, because she is the best option for this job. No other candidate was targeted from day one, not only with a coordinated strategy domestically, but I would argue a coordinated strategy internationally. We know that no candidate was targeted by bots from the very first day of their campaign during the primary season, besides her. And so there's a reason for that. My thought is you have to look at what somebody's enemies are in order to be able to judge who they are in some respects. And the people who are her enemies, I will tell you, are our enemies. And so I say all that to say that to me, the choice is clear. And I'm hoping that when this campaign makes a decision, I'm certainly hoping they're not going to make a Tim Kaine-like decision. This is not a moment to bow to safety, what perceived safety, which in my mind is not really safety. It's uninspiring, right? And what this ticket needs is someone who not only is ready from day one to step into that role, if necessary, but they need someone who will energize this campaign. The only thing at this moment really that Trump has going for him right now is he has a very, very energized base. So his strategy is about energizing his base, maximizing their turnout, and dovetailing that with voter suppression at every level, right? And so we have to match that energy for energy, and the energy just can't be anti-Trump energy. The energy has to be a forward-looking energy for a new tone of leadership, a new generation of leadership. I will say that, lastly, that Biden said that he wanted to be the bridge, right, between this generation and the next generation of leadership. You can't be a bridge between two generations if both people on the ticket are of the same generation, period. Okay, what we're looking to do right now is to position someone who has the ability to step into that role if need be. But, if all goes well and there is no need for that, we also want to position someone to be the rightful heir to that specific space the next time it comes open. And to me, undoubtedly, that person is Kamala Harris.
Thank you
Hey, Kenny,
so
I love
much.
you.
Kenny just started shouting just now.
I have to have my mic on mute because you don't understand. She was speaking the gospel. She was saying everything that's in my heart and my feelings.
I was up there counting. I was like, yes, take it there. Please take us to church. Preach.
Yes.
Preach.
Amen.
Say it. Say it
So-
all. Read all of it.
So listen, Dr. Avis came in here with the whole sermon and broke it down. And I'm going to tell you another dynamic Black woman that is going to break it down. And I'm talking about none other than the Star Jones.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Welcome, Star. The Star Jones.
Hey, Reecy. How y'all doing?
Yeah, people don't want to be on mute for you, so I'm gonna have to let people. If y'all want to come off mute for 20 seconds and just fangirl out, that's fine. Go ahead.
Hey, Soror. Hey, for real. Hey, y'all. We are
Wait. Am I an
Fire.
God.
Thank you.
I am
Okay.
an official k-hiver. I just want to make sure everybody understands that I am here to be supportive because I stand in the space for Kamala Harris. Okay. I don't want to waver. I don't want to quiver. And I don't want to stutter right now. Let me just be very clear. I've known Kamala Harris for 30 years. She is my sister, my soror, my friend. So I'm coming from a very personal perspective. I know her heart. I know where she's been. I know where she is. I know where she wants to take the country. So from a very personal perspective, Kamala and I used to actually, when we started out as young prosecutors, go in rooms where we would be only Black women in the room. When you are a senior prosecutor and you get invited to law enforcement situations, you walk into a room and you look for the people that look like you, and you say to yourself, okay, there go one of my girls. So we've known each other a very long time. So I know her heart, I know her history, and it's almost not fair to ask her what it's like to be a prosecutor, because she was far more of a public servant who was a victim's advocate. So that's where I come from. I come from knowing her in that very intimate, personal way. And I have said from the beginning, now I was with her during the primaries. I was her surrogate. I went all over the country. I talked all about who she is and what I thought she'd do for the country. And I started to look at all of the issues that this country is going to be faced with for real though. And there are a bunch of issues. We're in the middle of some bull. Y'all know what I'm talking about? We're in the middle of some mess. And as you look at Kamala's credentials, this is somebody who, if you're going to ask people to check boxes, the next administration is going to have to deal with civil and human rights, right? Intersectionality and coalition building, we know that. Criminal justice reform, COVID, Lord, and its aftermath. They're going to know how to crisis manage. They're going to need to know how to do cultural competency and like walk into any room and be relevant in that room. They're going to need to know issues about foreign policy. They're going to need to have an economic plan. They're going to need to have a plan for education and how our kids are going to get safely back to school. They're going to need to deal with environmental justice. They're going to need to deal with healthcare and infrastructure and intergovernmental coordination. So you need to have somebody that has some relationships in the Senate as well as in the Congress, as well as in state and local governments. You also are going to need somebody that has pipeline building in the past, brought some leaders up so that it's not going to end with her. You know what the rule is: when you get a seat at the table, scooch over and make room for somebody else at the table. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need somebody who understands that poverty is a problem here in this country. You're going to need somebody with the right temperament. You're going to need somebody that understands that women's equality is human equality. And you're going to need a little it factor. And that's where y'all come in. Okay? You're going to need all of that. And if we are not looking at that, then we are not looking at the real vice president. So I'm very glad to be here. I'm very glad to talk to you. But y'all have got to be activated. Y'all have got to be the ones that go out there and talk day after day after day after day and say that she's the one. That's it. She's the one. So that's where I am. So Reecy, that's just me. I'm just letting you know that's what I wanted to say. I came in just to and I'll answer any questions if you want me to, because you know I'm ready. I'm ready to go all in for her. I'm ready to go all in.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, well, you know what, y'all don't get too crazy now, but Star is offering up some of her very valuable, very precious time. If anybody has a question, put it in the chat. I'm gonna screen it first. We ain't gonna just be hollering it out. But we'll take one question for Star before she has to go. But I really want to thank you, Star, for joining us on Live with the K-Hive. This is our 15th episode. But I really just would like for you to just kind of reiterate the importance of our voices coming together for Kamala, because a lot of people have this notion that it's all sewn up, that the decision, there is a deal made, this is all just smoke and mirrors. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that?
Okay, let me be real clear about this. The Vice President Biden is right now dealing with the women's agenda. He's dealing with the platform agenda. He's looking at what the country's infrastructure is going to be looking like. And now he's looking for a partner that can do all of that. And that's one of the reasons why, and Reecy and I did it together. We called it an intergovernmental conversation, intergenerational, excuse me, because I'm a bit older, not that much, because Black don't crack, come on now. But Reecy and I sat together and we thought to ourselves, from both perspectives, what are the issues that we're going to bring up? And those are the things that the Biden campaign is looking at. And they've not made a decision. I know that to be fact. They've not made a decision. If they've not made a decision, when Kamala checks every box, and I do mean every box, you want to ask me a question about any of the 20 areas that I have laid out for you, ask me. And I can tell you what she's done in that area, what she brings to the table, how she will approach it. I know all of her policies. I know what she's done in the past. I know what she's fighting for in the present. I know how she'll take it to the future. So come to me. Come to me and ask me anything about how Kamala Harris would approach being a leader in this United States. I said, look at how she's done it in the past. She is the only person that's being considered that has local, state, and federal government experience. It's called executive acumen. Thank you very much. It's called somebody who can go across the aisle for the Republicans, who can talk to state and local government people and roll right in there. So no, it is not sewn up. And every time somebody says to you, well, I don't know. Well, maybe. And it don't really matter. Then you push back and this is what you say. Donald Trump has named over 200 judges to the United States federal bench, all throughout the federal bench. That will impact on generations of people, generations. It will impact on how you vote. It will impact on what your health care looks like. It will impact on what your money looks like. It will impact how many taxes you pay. It will impact on every aspect of your life because the federal bench decides what laws are upheld. When you give somebody that kind of power, you need to make sure that the person you're giving that power to is somebody who is on your side. And for me, it's an easy one for me. It's a very easy one, Reecy.
Absolutely. Can we get one more moment of your time? Sydney, did I hear you? Were you trying?
I just was agreeing because she started preaching, and I just had to say, I had to throw it out there. Like, yes, say that, please. Continue.
Okay. One final question, Star. One more moment of your time. K. Clay asks, what is the best way that we can advocate for Kamala as VP so that we are not only listened to, but truly heard by those that need to listen? What should people be doing? To your point, some people say, oh, it doesn't matter, or maybe people feel like just my one voice doesn't make a difference. What do you say to those folks?
I say activate. See, I'm not sure that people give credit to who you are and what y'all are doing right now. The k-hive is no joke, okay? Because whoever the vice presidential pick is going to have to gear up right away. We're going to have to start, because we're really like 100 days out from the election. So how are you going to activate? Get on your social media. Are you bloggers? Are you somebody who organizes in your community? And I know we're in the middle of COVID. I got all of that. Wait, someone, yeah, one of your viewers said, Angelica, she said 100 days from tomorrow. Okay. So get on your social media. Don't be talking about what Kanye talking about. Talk about what's important to you. Okay. Because you're not going to be voting for Kanye. Come on now. Don't act stupid. We trying to win this presidency. So now let's put in what is important to us. Let's not get distracted. When Trump says something stupid, don't get distracted by it. Don't talk about that for the whole day. Let's continue to hammer home some of the 20 for 20. Let's continue to hammer on. This is why you should pick Kamala. You should pick Kamala because on foreign policy, these are her particulars and her bona fides. You want to talk about pipeline building and putting people into places of position of power? This is why you pick her. So every day you need to hit it hard. Come out with why you're supporting her and why people who follow you should support her. Because what people don't realize, there is power in our voices. And there's also power and, as I like to say, ramifications for not listening to us. Because guess what? If you don't listen.
Huh.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Oh.
Can't say we didn't tell you.
Say it. Say it.
That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say.
Dropping the mic on that.
I just
dropping the mic on that.
And we
that's all I want to say.
The shade of it all. The shade of it all, child.
Okay. Somebody bring me some lipstick, okay?
Thank you so much, Star. It's been such a pleasure having you, such an honor having you. It's anybody following after you is a hard act to follow, but we're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna get to some more folks. So Nicole,
thank you, Reecy.
Thank you, Star. Love you.
You know how much I love you, because Reecy is more like my protege, my baby sister. So let me just give a shout out to what intergenerational means. It means having somebody who I would like to hand a baton to at any time. This is one of the smartest young ladies that I have met in a long time. And I'm just so happy that you are kicking it, honey. And you just keep them honest. You keep them up. And you go ahead and empower that k-hive. Work with it.
Thank you.
Work with
Love
it.
you.
Thank you. Love you more.
Bye. All right, Nicole, you're up. Okay, you gotta unmute yourself. We can't hear you. No, I don't think we still can't hear you. All right, we're gonna try coming out, exiting and coming back in, and then we'll go next to you, okay? All right, let me go back to my notes now. Who did I say was gonna be next? Hold on. I think I
difficulties. It's live, you know what I'm saying? It's
live.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
okay. Let's go to Brittany Oliver. Let me see. Where you at? Okay.
That's my girl, Brittany.
Oh, here you go. All right, you're up next.
All right, folks. Can you all hear me okay? Thumbs up. All right, cool. Thank you so much for having me this evening. My name is Brittany Oliver. I am based in Baltimore. I also work in Washington, D.C. I am a community organizer, as well as I work in the media and communications industry. I've been doing this work for a very long time. And what I'll say, there's a lot that I have to say. When Kamala Harris got into the race, she is someone who I felt like who has motivated me to be involved in politics more since Obama ran for president. Kamala Harris is tough, principled, and fearless. She has motivated me to get involved in to get involved in politics and to potentially run for political office. I don't know how there are other people who feel the same way. But the hits that Kamala has taken over a period of time I will be honest, and Kenny and I have talked about this, but you know, the hits that she's taken has definitely affected me a great deal. But it was what happened to her. It forced a lot of things. It forced me to quit being on Twitter. I was very active on Twitter for quite some time, and when she was dealing with a lot of the discrimination, the lies, the smear campaigns, that really affected me and my emotional health. And so I needed to take a break. But I decided to come back. I run an organization called Not Without Black Women in Baltimore. And what I'll say is that it has been a struggle to get folks on board with Kamala Harris. I had to do a lot of work at debunking lies and the smears against her. And so the reason why she's the best person for VP pick, first of all, I'll say that she was perfect to be president. I'll say that. I feel like the whole situation around her being VP pick is people feeling guilty about the fact that a qualified Black woman, as such as herself, had to deal with the stresses that she had to deal with, and the hits that she had to take. Because let's be real, at the end of the day, when she was in the race with the other candidates, she was a shield, right? She was. A lot of the candidates were able to hide behind their racism, around their misogyny, their sexism when she was in a race. And so now that she is out of the race and she's being considered for VP, I think it's very interesting that people want someone like her. People see Black women as an afterthought. You know what I mean? When she was perfectly qualified to be president. So she, all the reasons that you all have explained this evening, I don't need to repeat them. She's an amazing woman. She has inspired me, among lots of other women in politics, to run for political office. And so I thank you so much for inviting me. I'm here for the long term. And I want it on record that Kamala Harris is someone who I will support now and forever. And so thank you again.
Thank you, Brittany. Okay, we're going next to Sean. Let me find this person. Find Sean. Okay, here we go. Sean, you ready? You're up.
I'm ready.
All right.
Thanks for having me at the cool kids table. I'm excited to share why I would support Kamala Harris for VP. Senator Harris is brilliant. She's qualified to step in on day one. She always talks about not asking permission to lead. You see a need, step in and lead, and she's been doing that. And I do believe that she understands all lives really do matter. Minorities won't be afterthoughts for her. As a graduate of 2 HBCUs, North Carolina A&T and North Carolina Central, I know she has stepped up for HBCUs, and I know that. Sorry, I'm starting to get choked up just talking about it, but it makes me feel confident in her ability to represent me, my views, and my family's views, and I know that she'll do that. So thank you for having me.
We got some HBCU folks in here. Live with the k-hives Drew is right up your alley. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you,
Sean. Shout out my whole family. Sean, you shout out my whole family, because the majority of my family went to North Carolina Central. My mama, my cousins, everybody. There's only like 5% of us decided to go to A&T. So you represent my entire family in one person. So shout out to you though.
All right, we're going to move on to Michelle.
Hi, can you hear me?
We hear you.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Oh, great. Shout out to my Midwest sisters, because they like to act like no Black people live here, but we're the ones that are in all the cities who turn these states blue when we're blue.
Okay,
so I
let them know.
Yes. And I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I've actually been a staging location director twice. So I'm the person that goes to knock on your door on election day and tells you, well, I send the people to do it. I'm the manager. But I know what it takes to get people to have that big ask of standing 7 hours in line to vote, because the Republican apparatus uses voter suppression to keep Black people from voting, because they know that when we vote, Democrats win. And part of the way Obama got elected twice was record Black turnout where I am. And that's how we elected him. And that's also how Hillary did not get elected, is that she did not get the record Black turnout where I am. And let me tell you that record Black turnout where I am is what's going to get the next person into the White House. And Joe is not going to be able to do that by himself. He needs a charismatic Black woman on that ticket. It can't just be any Black woman. It needs to be a Black woman who is ready day one, who has been vetted thoroughly, who is photogenic, who is media savvy, who is intelligent, who is somebody that a lot of people would buy in to stand in line 7 hours to vote for. And I think Kamala Harris is the only one that checks all of those boxes. And also, just speaking in terms of political science, because my background is sociology, the feeder positions for president typically are senators and governors. Kamala Harris is the only Black woman who's a sitting senator currently, and only the second person Black woman to ever be there. We have never had a Black woman be a governor. Stacey Abrams got close, but she didn't get there. And there are no Black governors. So when we say that Kamala Harris is in a league all her own, it's just an empirical truth. She's the highest ranking Black woman in government, maybe the highest ranking Black woman that's ever been in government. And so why would you look anywhere else? I think that's all I have to say.
Michelle, you just spoke. Yes, God. Come on, Michelle. You better. Yes.
And I didn't want to go on camera. I only did this for you, Reecy.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
You were great.
Your face.
Thank you. She said empirical. That's important. Okay. We're up next. Is Nicole, you're back. Okay. Do you have audio this time? Let's hear you. You got to unmute. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you. All right. Awesome.
Okay, great. Everybody just like walked into the room. Sorry. No. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back. I'm so sorry.
All right, we're gonna go on to, let's go to Shantae. Are you ready? Okay. All right.
Hi, everyone. Y'all can hear me?
We hear you.
Okay, I'm Shantae. I am from New York City, born and bred and raised. And the reason why that I want Kamala and why I support Kamala was since she entered the national stage on, 2017 as a senator, I completely fell in love with her during the hearings of like questioning Jeff Sessions and from Kavanaugh and from William Barr. But during her campaign, some of her policies really stuck out. The childcare, which my sister works in childcare. And since I used to run an after school, because I am a jack of all trades, I have a nonprofit background, I have a business degree, I have an accountant concentration. And so like with all like what she was saying when it comes to the nonprofits, when it comes to like, you know, intervention, prevention, what she did as an AG really like gravitate towards me as a Black woman who's rare in that position. And so when she left when she dropped out, it really saddened me. I was going to say, screw everything. But now, like, she's about to, hopefully, we pray. I'm claiming it existed that she becomes that VP. Like, I just pray. And especially she's been dropping bills, especially like, and I'm going to use my tweet as mixtapes, as you can say, as Funk Master Flex, drop a bomb on it. Like, you could drop bombs on it. Like, I was telling, like, my boo thing, I'm getting him to like Kamala. He said she looked good and all that, like, you know how dudes are. But her $2,000 bill, which that will apply to everybody, because right now I'm out of work and I've been out of work since January, since my temporary assignment ended. When you work in development, sometimes your job is like in limbo. And so like that $2,000 will help me, will help my sisters, will help my mother. Like it will help everybody. Like I live alone and I was able to pay my bills because I'm in affordable rent on the Upper West Side in a nice area in Manhattan. Imagine if I, did not have subsidized housing, and if I was to live back in my old neighborhood in Harlem, I would be struggling. I would be OD struggling. And so for Kamala Harris to like drop bills out, like mixtapes out of a hat, and also has knowledge in foreign policy, knows our current situation, know what the hell is going on. Because all these other candidates, and no disrespect to them, like they don't know what's going on in our foreign with our foreign relationship. She sits on the Intel committee. She sits on the Judiciary Committee, and she sits on all other hosts of committees. She knows the economic disparities that's going on in all different ethnic groups, not just the Black and brown communities, but in all other, communities. Like, she knows cultural competency, like you said, Reecy. You said this shit all day, every day. Cultural competency, and when you keep ringing that, and I'm like, it's true. And I'm so glad I support her during the primaries, even though I was trying to get a t-shirt. I can still get a t-shirt, but yeah. So thank you for giving us this platform, Reecy. Keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring people to do what they do, inspire people to make videos, to advocate for Kamala. Advocacy. It's important. Same to you, Kenneth, and same to you, Drew, same to you, Sydney, and Maya, and all of you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Girl,
Shantae.
Ain't nobody can speak a real like a New Yorker, okay? Can't nobody say it like a New Yorker, okay?
We love it. And yes, it's live with the k-hive is actually Kenny. He brought us all together, and we're bringing you all together. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with us. Delante, you are up next.
I love it.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
We hear you. Yep, we hear you.
Hi, so a lot of discussions has been going on about just generally why you support Kamala and all these other things, but I think it's really important now to talk about not only why you support Kamala, but who has risen to the moment, who has proved themselves to be able to competently fight for the people and fight in relation to the current pandemic we're dealing with, not only the global pandemic of COVID-19, but also the pandemic in relation to racial justice and racial discrimination, particularly systemic disenfranchisement of Black people. So let's just speak about that. Just like Kamala would say, let's speak some truths. So in relation to the Black Lives Matter, let's just discuss that clearly. Who has proved that they can adequately address Black Lives Matter and meet that moment in a way that is significant and competent? Kamala ran as Attorney General on reimagining the police. When we talk about defunding, however you want to talk about it, defunding, abolishing, well, we're not going like that. But if we're talking about defunding the police, reimagining the police, Kamala Harris was there from day one as Attorney General. When we talk about the Justicing in Police Act, which she would have operated to create and collectively with the Congressional Black Caucus to get stuff done in relation to qualified immunity, in relation to no-knock warrants. These are important and tangible things that Kamala has done and has proved that she has been on the side of the people. So when we're talking about just generally why I support Kamala Harris, it's all of these reasons plus more. So, and let's just be very clear about a particular thing. Her record is, we can defend her record. People have smeared everything that she has done, people have smeared to a level that is beyond comprehension. Everything that she has done is explainable. So let us be very clear that there's no bad record that she has. We don't have to really necessarily talk about, oh, she's flawed. She's not flawed. There's arguments that we can make, and let's just speak this truth. Prosecutors are not cops. Let's just get that clear right off the bat. So thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Reecy and Kenny, for inviting me on this forum. Thanks.
Thank you, Delante. All right, up next.
Ready? I want to say something real quick before we move on. Your sister waiting there. Delante, thank you for making that point. Prosecutors are not cops. I'm telling you that right now. I got a good friend who's a former New York City prosecutor, and Faith Jenkins. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would never want to see her in a police uniform. Not cops at all. So thank you for that point.
Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Am I up next?
You're up.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Hi everyone. First of all, I'm in London right now. I flip between London and New York, so sorry about the weird accent. I wanted to thank Reecy because I follow the media and political punditry part of all of this, and she has been pretty much the only one, as well as like Bakari Sellers and Zelina Maxwell, the only person who unequivocally, unambiguously, constantly, specifically triumphs Black women and specifically identifies the need to talk about the most qualified woman for the world. So I just want to recognize her for that, because a lot of people talk a lot of talk, but they're not ready to just stand their ground and make that firm choice. And unfortunately, as Black women, we constantly have to make that additional move of specifically calling, I want this place for myself or for someone that represents me. So thank you very much, Reecy, for doing that.
Thank you.
Article inspired by your rhetoric.
Oh, thank you.
So everybody has made amazing reasons and justifications for Kamala based on their experiences, based on her record in the Senate and things like that. And thank you all for doing that. I'm going to go more of the data route. First of all, it should be mentioned one more time that Kamala is not the most qualified Black woman. She's not the most qualified Black person. She's not the most qualified woman. She's the most qualified person in contention for VP, period. By any sensible metric, she's the highest ranking Black woman in American political history. There has been another Black woman senator, an amazing woman, Carol Mosley Braun, but she never sat on the Senate Intelligence, Judiciary, Homeland Security, and Budget Committee the way Kamala did. And she didn't have experience in the executive holding a 7-figure budget of thousands of people representing 40 million people the way Kamala did. So she is literally the most qualified Black woman to ever be in contention for this kind of office. I just wanted to mention that. On the data side, it's very important to note that if you just look at the distribution of people on this chat right now, Black women, brown people, immigrants like me and like other people that have spoken, our white female allies and our other white allies, that is the base of the Democratic Party. We are the people that flipped this the House in 2018. People talk a lot about these voters we want to get and swing voters. What is important, as seen from contrasting Obama to Hillary Clinton, is turning up enthusiasm in the base. We are the base of the party. So the fact that Kamala has this multiracial coalition of Black women and Hispanic people and immigrants and white women and allies and LGBT people is essential to note. In all the recent pollings and surveys, she ranks as the person who stirs up the most enthusiasm in the base. And in my opinion, that is what's going to flip this election, because that's actually what flips all elections, not swing voters. So I just wanted to make that data argument and put that on the record. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. That was excellent. We love data-based arguments, our, assertions. All right, Derek, you're up. Unmute your mic.
All righty. Hey, everybody. I just want to first say thank you to the k-hive, because I've been down with y'all since the first episode, and you guys just give out so much information. I have to take notes so that when I'm going to go into battle with people, it's like, nah, this is why this is this and that, and so whatever it is. But I feel like Kamala is, what I like about her is she is ready to be president. Not just vice president, she's ready to be president. That's what makes her most qualified to be vice president. And then when you see, to me with her, like after she dropped out the race, she didn't just go into obscurity. Like we see some of these other people they're talking about, when they dropped out the race, what are they doing? We don't see anything from them at all. And she's continued to work and continue to do all the things, and I agree with you. I just don't understand all the hate she gets, but that's what happens when you're number one. When you're number one, everybody's shooting for you. And so I think that's why she gets all the heat she does, but I'm k-hive all day, number one. She's the most qualified, hands down. And I just want to take a shot at Drew. Drew, I'm sorry, but I'm a bulldog all day for FCSU. That's a real dog, okay?
Man.
All right, I love y'all.
All right, bro. You know what? I never beat y'all in a football game. So yeah, you take that. Congratulations.
Okay, we got some nice rivalry going on. All right, Susan, you're up next.
Hi, k-hive. I'm Susan from North Carolina. Can everybody hear me okay?
We hear you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thanks. So my support for Kamala Harris is rooted in her record, like what so many people have said, what she stands for. She brings forth a politics of hope and pragmatism. It's what the Democratic Party needs. It's what our country needs. And in terms of strategy, this is in line with what Dr. Avis was saying. And listen up, Biden campaign. We cannot forget that Kamala Harris is the one who Republicans fear the most. Lindsey Graham, unequivocal fan of Donald Trump. He admitted that things get a tough for Trump with Kamala Harris on the ticket because, quote, her no-nonsense approach would appeal broadly, even to white independent and GOP men, end quote. That's not coming from Democrats, liberals, progressives. That's coming from the GOP. That's why they've called her, like, quote, a nightmare for Republican elections. She is bad news for the opposition. They know Kamala Harris comes prepared. They know her talent. They have to respect it. If Joe Biden wants to beat Trump, he'll pick a running mate whose strengths worry the opposition. They'll work well together. We're talking empathy, compassion, progress. It's the winning choice. So thank you, k-hive, for having everybody here to say that. It's been so much fun listening to everyone. So thanks.
Thank you, Susan. All right, Nicole, you're up.
Thank you. Have you got me now?
We got you.
Okay, good. Sorry about the false starts there. Everybody just decided to come into the room at the wrong time. Anyway, I'm very glad to get this chance to speak on behalf of Kamala Harris. I think one thing that people forget about or maybe don't realize about her is that she fights not just for the people that we think of who need fighting, but the people that who are forgotten. And I can say this from personal experience. I have a niece who has special needs, and getting the care for her that she's needed over the 20 years of her life, getting, the opportunities for education, getting the opportunities for work, getting the opportunities for work that's fairly paid are all concerns that, we've had to deal with as a family that I've never heard politicians talk about for the most part, with several, a few exceptions. But one of those exceptions who has been on the forefront of thinking about people with disabilities and other groups of people who have been forgotten, Black mothers who the high maternal mortality rate, that's become kind of a touchstone issue now because she was one of the people who pioneered that we need to recognize this and care about it and do something. She's somebody who comes up with plans for those people that society doesn't necessarily see. And that really matters to me because it's easy to make plans for the issues that everybody's talking about. But she goes beyond that. She makes plans and she comes up with policies for the people who need it, who are not seen necessarily. And she does see them. And that's so important. I don't think that's something that you can fake. I think that that's genuine. And I think that that's the kind of person that we all need representing us, because no matter who you are, if Kamala Harris is in that executive branch, you know that she's going to care about you. And that is immeasurably important. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, Kay Clay, you're up.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I just want to say that, I have been around California politics and California politicians literally my entire life because I'm from California, and I've had friends and family members from the governor's office down to mayors. And even as a young person growing up in California, and I'm not that much younger than Kamala Harris, one of the things that I heard early on from my cousins was you need to pay attention to her. Her name was constantly thrown out there. And so even though I had moved away and now I'm in New York, my family were constantly speaking about this person who they saw, even when she was young and even when she was an upstart, they saw the it factor in her. And so I've constantly followed her and her career and all the things that she's done. And to tap onto what Nicole said, I think it's really important to understand that there are, you know, politicians often pay attention to things that are important to them and that are relative to them because they affect them directly. And one of the things that I've always been impressed with Kamala Harris, and it's so important to understand about why it matters and why it matters to have this type of quality in a person who's going to be vice president, is that she pays attention even when it's an issue that doesn't direct her immediately, because she understands what it means, how it affects people generally. So she's talking about things that aren't necessarily going to directly impact her, but she understands they're important because that's how she thinks and that's who she is. And she thinks outside of the box all of the time. And, you know, in this moment where we're talking about Black Lives Matter and Black women, let's be real, Black women have carried this country since it's been a country, before it was a country. And she's a person who understands that. She doesn't just understand it in terms of the immediacy of right now. She understands it in terms of the history. And we need somebody who not only has the comprehension and the understanding and the knowledge and the compassion, we need somebody who can bring all of that to the White House. Think of what we're dealing with. We're dealing with somebody like Trump, who honestly could care less. And we are essentially in a place where we have to undo and fix a lot of wrong. And if we need, in order to be able to do that, we need somebody who comprehends that. We need somebody who's smart enough, who is compassionate enough, who is charismatic enough, who is intelligent enough, and who is learned enough to basically have all of these qualities. And honestly, I'm not just saying this because I'm k-hive, I'm saying this because I've paid enough attention. She's the one person who literally has all of these qualities. And if we need to do what we need to do in order to move this country forward, we need a vice president who's going to support our Democratic nominee who has all of those qualities. And to be perfectly honest, she's the only person who has it. You know, this is not just about doing what's best for us. This is about doing what's best for our country. And she honestly is the best thing that we have for our country. And that's just being real.
Thank you. All right, Season, you're up next.
Oh shit, hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey.
Hey. I am in support of Kamala Harris being VP. I was supportive of her being president, but she is truly and genuinely for the people. I love the work that she did with sex trafficking victims and just all the footwork she did when she was a district attorney. And I really like her history of advocating for people. And I just don't, I don't think she gets enough credit for that. I love how all the stuff that's been going on with COVID and protesting, and she's just spot on with all of her responses to everything, her bills that she's putting out. I feel like she won't go to the White House and just sit there and be quiet and be pretty. She will definitely speak up and be one of the more vocal vice presidents that we'll probably ever see. So I'm hoping she makes it on a ticket, and I think she would do right by this whole country, and she would just be an amazing representative for Black women. And credentials over cosmetics. She's ready. She's gonna hit the ground running. I mean, I feel like I get more emails from her now than when she was running for president. So she gonna make it happen, and I really hope that she gets on the ticket. So Kamala Harris for the people.
Thank you, Season.
Right. And shout out for those bundle Seasons. Yes, that hair is had to just give her the shout out. Yes, she's looking good over here. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, Eric, you're up.
Hi, thank you, Reecy, and thank you to Live with the k-hive crew for inviting us tonight to voice our reasons why we need Kamala as our next vice president. It's really simple. Kamala Harris is honestly the only Black woman, because it has to be a Black woman, because Black women have held it down for the Democratic Party for decades, to rightfully be the next vice president. And there are many reasons why, and they've been voiced already. When you talk about her experiences and at the state, local, and federal level. But I want to be a little more practical, because I think we're getting a little complacent, excited, and ahead of ourselves. And I say that because we're seeing Joe Biden up by double digits in states like Florida, in polls in states that Democrats have that have been lightly red. And I think that now we think that we can afford to take chances. We only have one chance. We don't have chances. We can't take risks. We have to be risk adverse. So for me, I do not trust the polls, and I don't think we can take anything for granted. And I don't trust Donald Trump. We saw what he did in 2016, and we know that the dude knows no bounds. So he's willing to stoop as low as he has to stoop in order to give himself the best chance at winning a re-election. We know he'll cheat. We know he's in bed with Russia. He's been in bed with Russia for 5 years now. And that won't change. But what we can do to give us the best shot at winning is electing or having Kamala Harris on the ticket with Joe Biden, because she is the only Black woman, again, it has to be a Black woman, that has the widespread influence that reaches across the nation. No other Black woman in contention has ran for president. No other Black woman in contention for VP has made inroads with every single demographic in this country. And it's a very easy choice, I think. And I think that Joe Biden would be ignorant if he doesn't choose her. So Kamala for vice president only. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. All right, let's see. Let's go on to Katrina.
Hi there. I support Kamala. Can everybody hear me?
We hear you.
Okay. I support Kamala and supported her for president, support her only for VP, as she was and is the whole package. Most qualified, perfect balance of empathy and no nonsense, hardworking, charismatic, and appeals to the widest spectrum of people. As Eric was just talking about the demographics, right? As the senator from California, I might be biased, I'm from California, but it is a cross section of America. So many different types of people represented. She has proven the ability to get the votes of this wide cross section of people. I talked to somebody who actually was able to see Robert Kennedy live, and in Oakland, and the people who were all there, Black, white, brown, everybody together, a real coalition. And we see that in Kamala. I was always political, but never really so excited and engaged until Kamala announced her candidacy, and was able to donate and also get friends and family to donate who've never donated to political campaigns before. And I'm excited to do that for this ticket. A Biden-Harris ticket is a ticket that goes beyond just voting. It's a ticket that would inspire volunteering, donations, driving people to the polls, getting everybody so hyped up. A lot of different people, South Asian as well. Indians and Asians are a growing demographic. Women, and everything that everybody said. It's a lot of you guys are a really tough act to follow. But the thing that I really, really like about her is her realistic but thoughtfully creative solutions to so many different issues in her policies. She really goes to the root cause of issues. And I think that's why she's so effective in so many different ways and so many different avenues. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And I hope to celebrate with you all in about 100 days.
Thank you, Katrina. Okay, Gigi, you're up. We can't hear you. It doesn't look like you're muted, but we don't have audio from you. Can you try exiting and coming back in, and that might work, okay? And then you'll be up next.
Reecy, you're muted.
Hey, Reecy, now you just live.
Okay, Maya, you're up. I know you gotta go, so you're up.
Oh, okay. Well,
and wait, and be sure to plug Mayathon.
Oh, okay. Well, hello, everybody. First, I just want to say that this was very beautiful. I don't get emotional very quickly, but I was getting emotional during this because everything that everyone is saying is gorgeous. And it's something the Biden campaign absolutely needs to hear and listen to. We meet every Friday night and we discuss the policies of Kamala Harris and what we firmly believe in. And it's really wonderful to hear it up front. One of the things that I want to say about Kamala Harris, I've met a lot of politicians in my life, a lot. And she has been one of the most genuinely personable people. Reecy's met her, maybe Kenny. I think a few of you have definitely been in the room with her and met her. She's one of the most genuinely with you people. She looks you in the eye. She takes a moment to hear what you're saying. I was in a room with like 300 people, and it was as if no one else was there. It was just me and her having a conversation. I cannot tell you how important that is to me. What I want in a politician, in a leader, and a representative is that someone is going to take the time and actually hear what the public wants. I think a lot of people in Washington, D.C. and representatives, local representatives, have forgotten that they are representing people, that they are public servants. Kamala Harris has never forgotten that for 1 second. And to me, that is why it's important. Everything that Eric has said, to Star Jones has said, is absolutely apt. We cannot be complacent about this election, not even a little bit. The aspect of enthusiasm is going to be a critical component to this election, because as Eric said, and Reecy told me to plug Mayathon, which Reecy will be on Monday, I'll be discussing this election for 12 hours on Monday with special guests, including Reecy, Shannon Watts of Mom's Demand, Bernardo Fraga, The Turnout Gap, on and on. I have wonderful special guests because this election is so critical. The polling seems great, but as Eric said, it doesn't mean anything unless we know that the ballot design that we're about to have isn't going to have some trickery on it like it did in 2018, where Florida placed the senators underneath the instructions and thousands of people didn't even vote for a senator, making the GOP senator win. This is the kind of trickery that Trump will be doing, including closing polling places and on and on. And you know what's going to make the difference? Enthusiasm. Because just the way the turnout happened in Virginia that had been so gerrymandered, they almost broke the gerrymandering because of the amount of turnout. Turnout is going to be key. And by the way, let me just say this one more time, because I've spoken to some people in the Biden campaign. If you don't realize that by now, I got no hope for you all. Kamala Harris, even Biden said this, we need the enthusiasm of a k-hive. Well, hello, we're here. We're ready to go. You know what I mean? And we are voters that we know the policies, we know what's at stake, we know how critical this election is, and we're ready to roll. So that being said, I just want to thank everybody. You all were really inspiring to me. I hope that you tune in to my Mayathon on Monday. I'm going to be talking about voter suppression, about the VP. I'm going to be talking about Black women lead with Reecy. It's going to be all day. Thank you so much. I really, I'm enthusiastic for all of you. I will try to follow as many of you as I can this week. But I'll see you all on Twitter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maya. And again,
bye.
Mayathon is Monday, this Monday.
11 a.m. to midnight.
Yes.
Lord Jesus, that's a long day. Please get a good night's rest before you jump on there, okay?
And can you tell people again one more time? It's Twitter and which other?
Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, my handle is Maya T. Contreras. You can see it there. Yeah, and anything you want to know, from native voting rights to what trans people are going to be up against this election, to language barriers the AAPI community will face, or Latino people are going to be facing. I'm covering it all, and I'm covering it all with lawyers, with experts, everybody. We're going to talk about ballot design to how we can try to circumvent all the voter suppression that Donald Trump is going to be actively throwing at us. Okay. So thank you all.
Thank you, Maya.
Bye.
Okay,
night,
Gigi,
Maya.
you are up.
Can you hear me now?
We hear you.
All right. Everything that everyone has said, I want to piggyback on that. And I think that one of the most important things for a VP is the ability to lift people up, which Kamala is hands down the best at lifting people up. I was listening to her lift Julian Castro up and so many other people, and showcasing what their strengths are. And I think that that's very important for a VP to do that for the president, as well as everyone else on his in the cabinet as well. It's an effective leader, and it's one of the main reasons why I've always supported her since the early 2000s. So that's it.
Thank you, Gigi. Short and sweet. Yes. It's getting late. Okay, Tony, you are next.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Southern California. Hey, Reecy. You know, I'm your #1 mom fan.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for putting this together. I am 100% behind Kamala Harris. She has the credentials. I mean, everyone has already stated what she stands for. I don't want to go through all that again, because we know that she's qualified. She's qualified. She's ready. She can walk in the door, because we're going to have fires to put out to the 10th power. And she will be able to do what has to be done and make that pipeline that my soror will wear pearls, as she's the commander-in-chief in the next round. We cannot let this go, that the Democrats will let the Republicans take over in the next election. Kamala has to be the pipeline to go carry it forth. And thank you guys so much. This is so wonderful.
Thank you.
Girls with 20 pearls.
Thank you.
She got her pearls on and everything. Yes.
Period.
Yes, represent.
Love it.
Okay, Christina, you're up.
Hi, everybody. So we have to win. I'm a Florida voter, and we need a winner and a fighter, and that's Kamala. Just that's who that is, and that's who we need. When you take a look at Kamala Harris's record, whether it's voting rights, criminal justice reform, rent relief, unemployment relief, housing discrimination, immigration, raising the minimum wage, healthcare, gun sense legislation, education, she has been there on the forefront and led from the front. Kamala is who we need. She is who we have always needed, and there isn't a better choice out there. Watching her stand up to a Trump against the Muslim ban, watching her stand up to a Trump and Betsy DeVos, watching her stand up against Jeff Sessions, watching her stand up against Neil Gorsuch, watching her against Kavanaugh, just what she brings our voice to the table. We need to stand behind her, and she is who needs to be in the White House. She always stated that you might be the first to do something, but make sure you're not the last. Even now, she is fighting for Democrats across this nation. You know, she is not just fighting in California, but across this nation. She is fighting for Democrats to flip the House, to flip the Senate, to make sure the House stays blue, and to make sure this guy gets out the White House. We need Kamala. I'm a veteran. I'm also a military spouse, and I need Kamala. I really do. I need somebody who respects the military. I need somebody who, you know, if I need help, who will actually listen. So Kamala is who I need. And thank you so much for putting this together.
Thank you, Christina. And we salute you for your service and for your spouse's service as well. Thank you so much. Okay, Stephanie, you're up.
Hello, can you hear me?
We hear you.
Excellent. Hi, I'm Stephanie and I live in California, so I'm lucky enough to be represented by Senator Harris. And when I think about who should be VP, I think about someone who balances a presidential ticket. I think about someone who advances the president's agenda, and I think about someone who's ready to be president. And the best person, a best candidate who's been put forward who would meet all those criteria is Kamala. Obviously, Joe, he's a great guy. He's been in politics for a long time, but he's a 77-year-old white man from Delaware, one of the smallest states in the union. Kamala Harris is from California, the most populous state in the union, and she's also a woman, and she has African-American descent as well as Indian-American descent. She balances him just is a visual and diversity way, and she also is able to speak to many different constituencies, and this is reflected in recent polling showing how she is gaining across different ethnicities as well as gender, and I assume generationally. I haven't looked that closely at that, but she appeals to a wide variety of people and helps balance the ticket. Number two, Christina just talked a little bit about it in regards to she's to advancing the president's agenda. She's not complacent at all. She is always talking up Joe. I watched her at 2 events this week, and both times she took the opportunity to shout out Joe. We have to elect him. We have to fight for him. And if you look back just to 2018, she was supporting down ballot Democrats in races there. And I know she's continuing to endorse and encourage fundraising for down ballot Democrats now. It's across the entire country, and every one of us needs to be fighting for and supporting that in order to push back against the horrible things that have been going on under this administration. And the third one is ready to be president. I think that's already been really well covered by everybody else on this. But Kamala Harris, highest ranking Black woman in the government right now, on high-ranking Senate committees, and as well as her local, state, and federal experience. She's ready for this. She meets all the criteria. And I mean, part of me selfishly wants to keep her in California for me, but I think the country as a whole is so lucky to have her. And Joe Biden could not pick a better person than Kamala Harris. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, Jocelyn, you're up.
Hi, I support Kamala Harris partially because with her family, with her husband and his children, and being kind of like a mixed family with regards to step family or step parents and step siblings. That's something that kind of represents my family and is kind of touching to see. But also I heard her speak in Chicago almost a year ago, and she talked about the importance of a teacher in her life and how she didn't get where she is just by herself, and the importance of teachers and mentors. And I see that with how she raises up other people like Kim Fox in Chicago and her mentorship towards her, and her support of Keisha Lance Bottoms, and also because of sitting on the Foreign Intelligence Committee, it's important to have someone who's aware of foreign policy issues and just seems very compassionate, but smart and tough.
Thank you. Did you have more? Okay, thank you so much, Jocelyn. Jonathan, you are up next.
All right, thank you, Reecy, and thank you Live with the k-hive family for putting this on. I'm so very excited to be on, and it's been very beautiful and very inspiring. Just want to state some points, obviously, why I think that Kamala Harris should be our next vice president. Pretty much everyone else has already said it. I can't say it much better, but I think that it's important that we pay people for the work that they do, and I mean that in a twofold way. I think that Kamala Harris has been doing the work for a long time, and you know, we need to pay her back for that. And well, Joe Biden and his campaign needs to pay her back for that. You know, and so I think she should be rewarded for the work that she is doing, has done, and will be doing in the future by being not only considered, but being chosen as the vice presidential pick. And also, we need to look at how Black women have held down the Democratic Party for decades. I mean, literally decades. And so, you know, we talk about the rent being due. You know, the Democratic Party, excuse me, the rent is due, and it's time to pay up. So Kamala Harris will be a recipient of the benefits that Black women have been given to the Democratic Party for a long time. And so I think that we really have to continue advocating, like everybody else has been saying. I think that we need to amplify our voices and really do what needs to be done in order to make it known to Joe Biden and his vetting committee that we are going to really lean in with Kamala Harris as the VP pick. So thanks again, everybody, and excited to be on.
Thank you, Jonathan. Jamie, you are up. Go on ahead and unmute. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Reecy and the K-hive. This has been amazing. I want to echo what everyone has said. I double down on all of it. It's important to have somebody who's ready on day one. I also think that having run for president, and especially having run for president as a woman and as a Black woman, are extra valuable qualifications in this particular case, because this person is going to have to run, is probably going to have to go running for president as soon as possibly 2024. So they do have to be ready. And Kamala has experience of running for president and, of course, campaigning. You know, aside from that, her policies and proposals are evidence-based. You know, as we like to say in public health, she's not reinventing the wheel when she puts out a proposal or she puts out any sort of bill. And also, of course, her support of down ballot candidates. She not only talks about it, she's done it. And that's important to have somebody who has the support also of down ballot candidates and vice versa. And also, you know, she has us, the K-hive, you know, has a whole entire group behind her. I think that speaks volumes. And I hope the Biden campaign is listening, because that is of the utmost important right now. So thank you so much for this platform.
Thank you, Jamie. Okay, up next, Elle Beasley. Let me go ahead and spotlight you. Go ahead and unmute.
All right, can you guys hear me okay? Awesome.
Yes, we can.
Well, first of all, I'd love to thank the Live with the K-hive crew for bringing us all together for this wonderful celebration and statement about the virtues of Kamala Harris and what we all stand to gain from her being our vice president. A lot of people have shared some fantastic objective facts about why she's the most qualified. I'd like to share something subjective, if I may. Some of you know that I am a DAG. I'm a Deputy Attorney General. I actually left private practice and went to work for Kamala's DOJ. Not a lot of people are willing to give up $40,000 pay cut in order to join public work, but public service is important to Kamala, and Kamala made it important to me. And I think she has that impact on all of us in various ways in all our walks of life. And she'll have the ability to do that in the upcoming election and drive people to the polls and do what needs to be done. We're seeing it now. Another thing I'd like to mention is her ability to represent all of the people all the time. Something that's really interesting is that many politicians, when they talk about representing all the people, they mean that they're just bringing one specific group to the table. But Kamala is always constantly juggling the interests, competing interests oftentimes of many people, all of the people of a diverse state like California, all of the people of a diverse country like ours. So anyway, hopefully the Biden crew, anybody is listening. I received an email from you about an hour ago saying no regrets. And I offer that sentiment back to you. No regrets, make the right choice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was such great insight.
And send me one of those wine bottles, please.
Yes.
Got you covered.
Thank you.
Okay, Princess, you are up next.
Sorry, I was inspired to have my picture on here. Thank you very much, Reecy and Kenny, for putting this together. This is awesome. I would say that Kamala is the best person for the position. She has the resume, she has the executive experience that's going to be needed, and then on a more personal note, myself, I'm from Wisconsin, and we have the highest per capita Black population in prison in Wisconsin. This is a system that needs to be fixed. This is broken. It's not right that that's what it is. And I see her as being the person that can do that because she does have that insight with law enforcement, and she knows what bullshit they like to pull. I mean, I work with them. I know what, she's up against with that battle. Also, on a very, very, very personal note, one of the things that have spoke to me about her, the more that I've learned about it, is her policy about truancy. And, a lot of people have really, like, oh, that's so bad. She put these mothers in jail, which we all know is wrong. But I am one of those kids. I'm one of those kids that was, chronically truant. And that would have helped me to have somebody step in and say, hey, this person is going to fail. And the only reason I succeeded is because of my white privilege. I mean, I can't imagine having more barriers in place than I already had. And I see her as somebody that truly just represents everybody and has the whole package. And as I put in my email to you, Reecy, I'm really looking forward to seeing her sit down with Angela Merkel. I'm just really looking forward to that. So, but thank you so much for putting this together, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, we have Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. Go on ahead and unmute.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much to the k-hive for letting me be a part of this. It's been absolutely incredible and inspirational. First of all, I'm casting my vote in November for Kamala Harris. And if she's not on the ballot somewhere, then I'll be voting against Trump, because Kamala is the only solution for me. And I am, what everybody said tonight and what I keep hearing is praxis. And praxis is experience on top of knowledge. And there are so many people who want the vice president position for themselves who have a plan or have the knowledge. They don't have the experience that Kamala has. And honestly, and yes, I'm multifaceted like everybody else, but I'm going to say this as a white woman. The only person who is qualified to heal this country right now and for this position is a Black woman. And it's Black women's blood, sweat, and tears for our entire American history that's built us and saved us. And now it's time for a Black woman to lead us and heal us. So that's it for me. Thank you guys so much. And this has been amazing.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Okay. Hope, you're up. Hope. Go on ahead and unmute. Okay, you got it.
Okay, I hope that worked. Okay. All right, yeah. So thanks. I'm not exactly dressed for the occasion, but I just wanted to add my voice to everyone saying first how great k-hive is. It's a really important platform. But I'll just say that I too graduated from Howard with an economics degree. And that's not a big deal like by itself, but you know, we make a big deal about our alumni. So I've followed Kamala Harris since like the mid 2000s. And I think her attention to data, and maybe it's the econ thing, but as it relates to the real world situations, real consequences, I think all those things are a plus. I think she's a problem solver because she's honest about what the problems are. I think she understands the numbers. I mean, obviously that's important. Maternal health disparities, I think, are a good example of that. But she also understands the context. And I think, no one really has to explain to her what it's like to be a Black woman, what it's like to not be taken seriously, what it's not like to not have your concerns heard. So I think that kind of range and versatility is important. I just want to say that. Obviously, I think she'd be a great VP, and she's someone who would inspire me to spend my time working for the ticket, to give more money, and all those things will be important in the general. That's it.
Thank you, Hope. Okay, we're gonna have Cassandra. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, then please feel free to correct me and properly introduce yourself. I know you don't want video, so I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna have the gallery view for this one.
Thank you. And yes, Cassandra is correct. And I appreciate you inviting me and just being part of this. I'll have to admit, I'm one of the almost founding members of the k-hive, and we were so excited about the opportunity for Kamala to be president, and pretty devastated, when that kind of went away. But now, with the opportunity for her to be vice president, and president in the future, I think we've had a chance to move away from the sadness to gladness. However, most of the things I was going to say have already been said and said very well. And one thing I wanted to add is that she and Biden are going to walk into a horrible, horrible mess. And I think that in a way that's a good thing, because the two of them, I think, could balance each other. He really couldn't, I don't think couldn't have the time right now in this horrible situation to mentor, train, coach. He needs someone that can, hit the door running and be on his side and compliment him. They both have passion. They're both sincere and both very honest people. So I think that as she's really the perfect vice president for him, especially under these very difficult conditions in our economy, in healthcare. It's just everything that can be broken has already been broken, but they will be the team to fix it. So again, I thank you, and I look forward to working with you over the next 100 days to get the job done.
Thank you. Okay, Deb, you are up next. You also want to keep the video off, which is perfectly fine, so go on ahead.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, excellent. I'm Deb from Western Mass, and I was disappointed to not get a woman president in 2016 and was hoping to support one in 2020. Unfortunately, that didn't work out too well, but now we get a chance to actually support the woman I supported, Kamala Harris, for VP. And the more I looked into her, she stood head and shoulders above anybody in the entire complete busful of Democratic candidates we started out with. And that was disappointing that she dropped out. But now that there's a chance to have her as VP, perfect compliment to Joe Biden, because she brings in youth, she brings in enthusiasm, she brings in a competence, a cultural competence that none of us white people could ever bring to the table, ever. And it's about time. I mean, Black women have stood for everybody in this country, saved us so many times. Almost did it last time, but we let you down. So it's time you get a real seat at the table, a real time to make a difference, because really y'all have the focus to get to the heart of the problems and make everybody, lift everybody up all at once. And that's pretty much why I want Kamala Harris for VP.
Thank you, Deb. Okay.
Thank you, Reecy.
We're gonna move on to Dina. Go on ahead and unmute.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I can't figure out how to turn my video on though. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm old and this technology.
It's okay. Go on ahead.
Okay. Kamala Harris is, as Deb said, it is past time that we have a Black woman in the executive branch in the Oval Office. Maybe we can't get that this year, but you know, vice president, maybe all we can get, and it's past time we have that. On a more personal note, I'm a criminal defense attorney, and I have to tell you, I broke into big unexpected sobs during her criminal justice forum. This woman sees the women that the people that I represent every day. She sees what so many people don't see. She sees the addict that is just fighting to climb out of that hole. She sees the young kid who made a stupid mistake and just wants to turn his life around. And she sees what these people need and how to get there from here. And I'm sorry, I'm choking up just talking about it, because I have not seen another person in power, another politician, see what she sees ever. And it was enough to make me a fan for life, I'll tell you. And on a deeply personal note, as a mother of kids who are part of the LGBTQ community, I know that when Kamala Harris is in charge, that my kids are safe in this country. And that means more to me than I can begin to tell you. So if we can get her into office, it would be a dream come true. And thank you, Reecy, for this forum, and thank you for letting us all speak today.
Thank you, Dina. Okay, Jose, are you ready? I know you're on a roll, but go ahead and unmute.
Can you hear me?
We hear you. Uh-oh, looks like you might have a bad connection. Okay, we'll come.
All right, awesome.
Oh, no, okay, we got you. Okay.
You can see I'm, hold on. Yep. Yeah, just come back to me. I'll turn off the video and then just go off sound.
Oh, okay, all right, we'll come back. All right, how about we go to my VIP, which is my husband. I'm gonna go on ahead and spotlight you.
All right now. Good evening, everybody. Y'all, please forgive me for the hat. Quarantine has not been kind to your boy or his hairline. But I do want to say I am a major supporter of Kamala Harris. One of the big reasons is the person who, is on this call, who's coordinating this call, but also because Kamala Harris is actually a fighter. A lot of people like to call themselves a fighter, but Kamala Harris clearly has the record and the receipts to back up her fighting spirit. She, from her time, putting in place the Back on Track program, to putting in place the Rent Relief Act, to the Open Access Council Act, the things that she actually puts in place, the legislation that she has put forward, the policies that she's implemented in her various positions in her life have been things that have been for the people. And that is something that we desperately need in the executive branch of this country right now. And I think someone like Joe Biden needs that type of individual, that type of fighting spirit, that type of person with executive experience, because let's also be clear, Kamala Harris actually has more executive leadership experience than the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden. So in order, he wouldn't need to mentor or groom a Kamala Harris to hit the ground running and put into place the type of policies and procedures that would help this country and continue to grow and push us forward. And also, as someone else mentioned on this call, I want to see a Black woman running. I want to see a Black woman on the world stage, doing the things that Black women do, advocating for us, doing, being recognized for the work that she has done, and being in a position that she has worked so hard to achieve and that she deserves. I want to see a Black woman represent America the way that it needs to be represented and the way that it hasn't been represented in this 200+ year history. And I'll end on this. Personally, I have never voted for a white man for president, so I would love to have a mitigating factor for doing so in 2020. And I will leave it at that. K-hive, I want to continue to say, clearly I am a supporter. Having my wife as a part of the K-hive, as being who she is and the wonderful person that she is, I am appreciative of all the work that you all do. And I love that everything that you've put together in support of Kamala Harris. I will continue to ride and support and do whatever I can to push you all forward, push Kamala Harris forward, and make sure that she is the vice president this year, the presidential nominee, and to see her in the White House at some point.
Yay. Thank you, hubby. Y'all see I'm married up, right? Y'all see I got a good one.
Like he had a choice to support anybody other than
okay.
Wait, hold on. Is that
a house?
Is that a Ducat, brother?
Yeah.
That is a Ducat. It is a Ducat.
I thought we gonna get along, but I guess not, brother.
We just gonna have to agree to disagree.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. I feel like Cassandra. Oh no, you're right. Okay. I just saw you had a thumbs up, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay, Jose, I think you're not going to have video, right? But go on ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and tell us why Kamala.
All right, can you hear me all right now?
Yes, we can. Okay, you just muted yourself, so go on ahead and unmute yourself. Okay,
there we go. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I'm revealing my age right now with how badly I'm muting and unmuting. But yeah, I'll just make this really quick because I'm going up a mountain right now. So there's a chance that I could drop out as I'm speaking. But the reason I want Kamala, I mean, it's pretty obvious from a pragmatic point of view, from a numbers point of view. Everyone has already spoken about her record. I am on board with it, what everyone said. But I mean, just looking at the polling, there's no one that generates more excitement. There's no one that is consistently on top of polling than Kamala. I mean, it's just a common sense pick. I don't understand why it wouldn't be her. I hope it's her. I am completely on board with her. The second Joe picks her, if he picks her, I am ready to just unload $500 right on Joe Biden's campaign as soon as he picks her, if he picks her. That being said, with all the polling, I mean, Kamala's campaign slogan was Kamala for the people, but the polling reveals that it's the people for Kamala. And I'm just going to end on that.
I know that's right. Go ahead. Drop that Kamala cash, that Kamala coin.
Yes, exactly.
Her.
All right. You're up next, Albert. I'm going to go on ahead. I can't spotlight you till you have your video on. So where are you at? Okay, there you go. All right, you're up. Go on ahead and unmute.
There we go. What's up, guys? So I would love to sit here and just rehash all the amazing things that everybody said about Kamala's record. But for me, it's real simple. I am raising a 2-year-old, beautiful brown-skinned baby girl with big curls and I think I would love for her to grow up in a time where not only is the next vice president going to be a woman that looks just like her, but the soon to be president, because we know good and well, whoever's VP now, if it's Kamala, is going to be the front runner for the White House in 2024. And I think the other part of it too is that as we kind of embark on this kind of inflection point in our country, right? And we're still trying to get justice for Breonna Taylor, and for 200 years, this country has been built on the backs of Black women, and it's time we repay that investment. And there is we couldn't get her into the White House as the nominee this year because of all sorts of tomfoolery. But the next best thing is getting her into the White House as the VP, so then she can be the president in 2024. Because we can't have the next time a Black woman runs be the first time that we back them the way that we need to back her. And I'm all the way in. What Jose said is true, man. It's putting money behind her because she is it, and it needs to be her. And I will accept nothing less than Kamala Harris as the vice president, and that's the real deal. So, Reecy, everybody, Sydney, Kenny, Maya, we love you guys. You guys have continue to kick ass doing this, and it's time that we reward that effort as well by making sure that Kamala is the next vice president.
Thank you so much. Okay, before I go to the Live with the K-hive official panel, is there anybody else that I skipped? I've been asking in the comments. I feel like I've kept a pretty good track, but if I've missed you, now is your time to speak up, unmute yourself, and you can go next. I don't think that I have. I think we're ready for our final remarks. Okay. All right, Drew, why don't you go on ahead and kick it off for the Live with the K-hive regular Friday night panel.
So pick it off. So you got the football player kicking it off, pun intended. Listen. All right, so first off, the reason that I'm supporting Kamala Harris, or the reasons why I'm supporting Kamala Harris for vice president, quite simple. Number one, it's the record. It's the work that she's put in. I read somewhere where it says that when you know somebody, you will know them by their fruit. And her fruit that she has produced it's fantastic, as a matter of fact. I'm talking about all the way back. We can even start in 2004 if you'd like to, but we can go all the way back to 1990. We can go back to 1990. That's at the start of her career in Alameda, the district attorney's office, Alameda County District Attorney's Office. We can go back to the 80s when she had the wherewithal to go and attend the illustrious Howard University. Even though I am an alum of North Carolina A&T, I still recognize greatness. Is a woman that her entire life she has been dedicated to excellence, which is one thing that we do have in common, myself being an Aggie, whether it is her reimagining how we do certain things, whether it's in criminal justice, whether it's her having the wherewithal to even understand it, to recognize how she can be part of something greater than herself. She's always been a selfless person. Again, you don't get to be, one of 38 jewels of iridescent splendor at Howard University across spring 1986. Shout out to all the AKs on the line right now, which I know is talking about the Alpha chapter. But without having the wherewithal of knowing that there's a benefit of being a part of something greater than yourself. When we move on to her leadership abilities, her ability to not only make a decision to stand by it when it's true to her core beliefs, and when she has the power in order to enforce those beliefs and make sure that she has the benefit of that. Someone mentioned it before, David Hill, 2004, after the murder of the police officer in San Francisco, where everyone was calling for the death penalty. She said, no, and this is why. Her reasons why, but that's a president right there. That's a leader right there, having conviction and being able to stand on that, but also being able to balance that with the ability to come out with policy and proposal, and then being able to then listen to your constituents and be able to hear the people that you serve, and to be able to provide an updated or amend your plan, amend your vision to fit the people, like she did with the Medicare for All. We saw originally it was co-signed Bernie's plan, but you heard from the people saying, look, I know this sounds good, this will work better for me. And it kept coming over and over. And you should say, you know what? I hear you. Watch me work, and I'm gonna serve you. This is a woman who has every office that she's held. When she takes control of anything, it's bound to blossom. So often is it true with women. So often is it true with Black women. And whenever you touch, it is bountified, it is beautified, it is multiplied. This is what a woman does. She amplifies it. And so, for me, coming from that perspective and seeing everything that she's done, henceforth, I feel like Jay-Z. It's a no-brainer. It's what Joe needs. It's what America needs, and I think that we would be totally remiss if we missed on this, but we can't miss on this. So those are my reasons. Not only that, and also perspective, she just has enough thug in her to go ahead and make sure feel that pressure. I might want to see him cry a little bit, a little shaking, a little nervousness a little bit. But yeah, this is the woman who is all around, who got it all, and America needs it all right now. So there go my reasons right there.
Thank you, Drew. Okay, we have a last minute entry. Michael, you're up.
Hi, good evening to the entire K-hive. My name is Dr. Michael McKenzie. I'm a board certified family physician in South Florida. I support Kamala Harris because she is the most qualified person for the VP slot. She has the receipts. Nobody else has receipts. As Reecy has said before, PDFs and emotional speeches are not receipts. One of my personal issues that I hope that Kamala will address, and she has addressed certain aspects of it, is the issue of cannabis reform. In Florida, I'm one of the 1,000 or so doctors that's certified to recommend and evaluate qualified patients for medical cannabis. And part of the thing that prevents the program from reaching its full potential is these crazy federal laws as it pertains to cannabis, like its Schedule I status. And I'm very grateful that Kamala Harris sponsored the MORE Act, which would deschedule cannabis, correct an error that was made in 1970 by the Nixon administration, and move the needle forward so that we can do the proper research and treat patients with this great off-label natural option. And personally, I'll be honest with you, I hope and pray that if Kamala swings through Florida, I hope she pays a visit to one of the premier cannabis treatment clinics in the state called the Compassionate Cannabis Clinic in Venice. And so she could see how the impact it's making on people's lives. And we also want to have the chance to thank her for sponsoring the MORE Act. Joe Biden is kind of hesitant when it comes to this policy. So I am hoping that Kamala can push him in the right direction. She definitely is someone who knows how to influence people. So she can influence Biden in a positive direction to finally correct an 83-year-old lie and get cannabis off Schedule I and make it available for people to research and to treat patients with of all ages.
Thank you, Michael.
I am fully in support of that.
We know Sydney.
Yes, Sydney. I know you are, Sydney girl. Roll up.
Okay, we have another late entry, but Susan, your mom has been watching this entire time, so we're happy to have her. Go on ahead, Susan's mom. And please tell us your name.
My name is Rana Ryan, and I am in North Carolina. And I wanted to just give you a little story about how people feel about Kamala Harris. I was walking my pups down the road, and we're in North Carolina, and there is this healthcare facility next door to us, occupational health facility. And a gentleman always likes to talk to our dogs, and he is actually a veteran and a healthcare worker. And we got talking a little bit about politics, and of course, everybody can't stand Trump. I mean, even the GOP can't stand Trump, But anyway, I asked him, I said, what do you think about Kamala Harris? And he said, the Attorney General, yeah, she's nice. I like her. People generally like Kamala Harris. The regular everyday people are not, they like her. She is intelligent. She's gorgeous. She's personable. She's fun to watch. She's got a good sense of humor. And she's also, I think she would work really well with Joe Biden in that she would be very supportive to Joe and to the American people. So I think that she would make a great vice president with Joe Biden. And I think that everybody in North Carolina would think so. Thanks.
Thank you.
I wanted to say I would vote for Kamala and I would also vote for Reecy.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
And shout out to North Carolina. I'm right around the corner.
Yes. So that's your cue, Kenny. Go on ahead. North Carolina.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll just jump in here, child. So I just want to thank everybody for all your heartfelt speeches of why you guys want Kamala Harris. This really means a lot to me. I mean, I was getting tear jerked. I mean, I don't normally cry, child. I'm pretty much a hard person, but y'all was really getting to the spirits of myself. So I just want to just go ahead and thank you guys for all of the work that you guys are doing. Thank you for guys for, supporting this channel and supporting this platform and really being vocal about your support for Kamala Harris. But I mean, I'm gonna say something. I guess I think it's just a double down. I can't rehash everything that everybody else is saying because y'all really hit a lot of my talking points. Y'all really got me. But I just want to say this to Joe Biden. Look at what we showed you tonight. Look at the diversity. This pretty much shows America as a whole. And we're not just writing a letter to you to tell you about how we feel. We're actually getting personal with you and allowing you to see our faces and see that we're real average, everyday voters. And it's important for you to see our faces because what Kamala Harris brings to the table is she brings a plethora amount of people to the table. Every, fundraiser that she's had for you has had record turnout in terms of fundraisers, in terms of how many people are actually attending and watching. And that's going to translate into real votes for you. And right now you need somebody who's going to be able to excite the base and actually bring in real voters, real everyday Americans. And one thing I just got to say, and I'm gonna just end this really quick because I'm just make this short and sweet. You owe Black women everything. You owe Black women for saving your campaign from literally from nothing. So for the Black people Black women that actually go and do polling, for Black women who actually make phone calls, who knock on doors, who actually, risk their time and put in their effort and their money in order for you to be where you're at, you need to pay them back with somebody like Kamala Harris, who represents not just Black women, but intergenerational people. So that's all I want to say, Joe. Please make the right decision because without Kamala, I don't see yourself making it into the White House.
Big facts.
Thank you, Kenny. Sydney.
Absolutely right. Awesome. Well, we are at the end of our segment, guys. Thank you so much for all of your input tonight. I'm just piggybacking off of what my fellow panelists have said. We appreciate you guys infinitely for joining this broadcast with us tonight. We've had so many different stories from so many different people from so many different walks of life. I've had tons of stories, from folks in my neighborhood, folks, in my family who all feel the same way about Kamala and her, and her future. And I'm just going to segue into, what both my mother and I both agree on. As far as why we decided to, support Kamala wholeheartedly, through and through. And that reason is because, she is we believe that she should be VP because she is the progressive, with policies that meet this particular moment. And she has exhibited the knowledge and competency to bring about bipartisanship, and bring about bipartisan change that is going to push this country forward. I was going to talk about, in tonight on our segment, the pandemic assistance with the CARES Act and how, and how she just seamlessly, brought that legislation to life and how that changed the trajectory for so many people, including myself. I've been recently laid off from work, and that extra $600 a month I was granted on top of my regular unemployment insurance, and that sustained me for the last month and a half, maybe 2 months. I got retroactive. I was fortunate enough to keep a job throughout for the majority of the pandemic. Thus far, I was laid off in May, but that extra boost really, really helped, you know, to kind of make sure that I could stay afloat. And that has not happened to me, honestly, in my lifetime, where I've literally seen legislation that spoke, you know, that spoke true to everything that it meant. You know, it came out, you know, they said that we were going to get this specific amount of money, and that's what showed up in my bank account. So, you know, again, we see real action happening in real time to people on the ground. The most marginalized people are seeing, they're seeing action in real time. They're seeing their lives change immediately. And that is the spirit that Kamala brings. That is what she will bring, you know, as VP to a cabinet. So to all of the Biden staff and everyone joining us tonight, again, thank you so much for, you know, watching this program. And again, I'm going to leave off on this. Please understand the impact that a historical candidate like Kamala Harris has. Please understand that that nothing is guaranteed this year. We do not know whether or not, you know, the odds are in our favor, but we can surely seal the deal with someone like Kamala, if, you know, if she is chosen, you know, that will definitely give us some headway. So again, thank you for joining us tonight, and we appreciate you. And please tune in next week, as we will, as our panelists will be embarking on our 16th episode, I think it is. Unfortunately, I will not be in attendance, but I will be in spirit. I do have a wedding to attend, so good news.
We will miss you, Sydney. And yes, it will be the 16th episode.
Woo, woo!
Yes, God.
Love y'all.
And last but not least, the queen of the night, Reecy.
No, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. The queen of the night is actually the Kamala Harris. Senator Kamala Harris is, you know, I loved how the first episode of Live with the k-hive, Kenny said, we sing for the queen. And it's so remarkable to see so many people from so many diverse backgrounds come together. This is what those byline, you know, look at the polling data, and you look at the breakdown, and you say this age group and this race and this geographic location, all that stuff, and it's just numbers on a PDF. This is what that looks like in action, in person, in real life. And this is what Kamala Harris supporters look like. And we look like every end of the spectrum. And we unequivocally and enthusiastically and wholeheartedly support Senator Kamala Harris. And we support her being on this ticket for a number of reasons. All of them, you know, you could think of have been listed tonight. And this moment just calls for it. It demands it. And not only this moment, but 2024 and 2028 or 2032. Right? Because that's really what this is about, right? That's what a lot of the campaign against her has been about, has been trying to shut down that pipeline of Black women to the White House. We're saying we want this, and we're saying we also want that pipeline, and we're saying that we deserve it. We're saying that we've earned it, and everybody else has benefited from the backs of Black women. And so this is about picking the most qualified person, period. And so I just want to close out by thanking all of you for spending tonight. We have been on here for 2 hours and almost 2.5 hours. I mean, it had to have been at least 50 or 60 people who have come on here short notice and given their own personal testimonials as to why they support Kamala Harris. And so I'm just going to close out by saying thank all of you. I feel like we made a difference tonight. I feel like if people don't want to hear the voices of the people, if they don't want to hear what the polling looks like, if they don't want to visually see it, and then that's on them. That's not on us. But our work is not done with coming on here on a Zoom and sharing our opinions. We have work to do. There is another week, 10 days, however many days, as you heard from V-Star Jones earlier. This is not sewn up, people. And that's really why I really wanted to just bring everybody together to just shake y'all and say, don't think that this is in the bag. It's not. It's never, ever gonna just be in the bag for a Black woman. It's never that easy. Nobody has ever made it that easy. And so we have to keep our foot on the gas. That means being vocal. That means, like I said, responding to emails, to the campaign. That means tagging people. That means sharing this video. Even if you just want to say, hey, y'all, I'm on this, I'm 50 minutes in, just look at my part. Then go on ahead and do that. You don't have to share, you don't have to watch the whole video. But make sure that people are seeing this, making sure that your family is seeing this. Like Susan and her mom were watching this. I know my mom, she didn't want to hop on, but she's watching it. Share it with your family, share it with your friends. I saw in the comments, Julie said she shared the Credentials Not Cosmetics article, and that changed the mind of a person. And so we have to keep up our work. This is not the time to get complacent. You all see what kind of headwinds are against Kamala, despite being the most qualified. She doesn't have the editorials in her bag. She doesn't even have the big party bigwigs in her bag, because if so, this probably would have been sewn up a while ago. But what she has is an army of enthusiastic grassroots people that we've all come together tonight. And let's just continue to keep that energy and make it 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times harder for them to do anything but pick Senator Kamala Harris to be on that ticket. So thank you all for tonight. And let's keep it up, y'all. We're in the home stretch. Now is not the time to let up. Now is the time to show the Biden campaign the power of the k-hive army for Kamala.
And I just wanted to say one thing before we drop off. Tuesday, I want to start a hashtag of Kamala Harris for VP. You guys can also clip out your own personal videos, or you can make your own personal videos if you're watching, if you weren't a part of this. But I definitely want everybody to put the reasons of why they think Kamala Harris should be VP. And we have to get this hashtag trending on Tuesday. So Kamala Harris for VP, that's the hashtag we're pushing. We're doing it on Tuesday all day. So let's get this thing going. Let's push, like Reecy said.
Yes. All right. Thanks, y'all. I'm going to end this live.